Hello and welcome to Wild Works and Wonders. I'm Christian Wild, and today I'm going to start the video with a little show and tell, and then I'm going to show how I built this robot art piece out of an old film projector and a camera and some wall hanging lamps. And everything started a couple of years ago when I was thrifting. At a thrift shop, I found this weird old calculator, a mechanical calculator, and it was standing on a shelf right below an old box camera. And I was just watching it, and it was like, that looks like a robot. So I bought the two things. I went home and I built this little guy. This is my first robot build, and I consider this an art piece. Actually, I was building this robot. I made this cute little gesture where he's scratching his head because he's a mechanical calculator, and I was thinking it could be quite cool if he was kind of pondering a mathematical problem that he is not able to solve with his abilities as a calculator. And he turned out really cute, I think. So I got really inspired, and I made another one. I was once again thrift shopping, and then I came upon this old what is that called? DS projector, I think. In the olden days, where you took film or pictures on film, and you could either get them printed as paper photos, but you could also buy some film that was developed, and then you could put it into these little plastic frames, and you could put it into a DS projector, and then you could sit and you could watch your grandparents' vacation to Mallorca for hours and hours on end. This particular projector is really old, and I just thought that looks like a robot body, so I once again bought it and bought another box camera and made this guy. So he is, and this time I put him on this little wooden box because he couldn't really support himself. The joint in this particular wall lamp was not that sturdy. The only thing that I need to do is to exchange this measurement, this tape measure, with a more vintage looking one, and I have one. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. And then I made this one. This is my first aid kit robot, and he's a nurse, but he also kind of has a neck stretch pose, I think, or maybe he's just posing because he wants to look cute. I don't really know, but that was not it, not yet. And you get to see a little part of my rural home here in Denmark. So I don't really have the room for all my robots anymore. So therefore, I kind of had to place a couple of them down in my basement. And before any of you, and I don't think any of you 62 subscribers right now care about that, or maybe you care, but I once saw a video about where a YouTuber told or showed the surroundings of her home, and she was warned against people coming to her home and doing things. I don't really know what it's called, but I don't think that's a problem here in Denmark. But here we have this robot. This is the BoldBot 1A, and this is not a part of it. And this one was a little bit inspired by my latest. Oh, sorry about all the. This is quite an old house, so I should have put him somewhere else. But you get the idea. Same concept: a camera as a head, and this was a couple of salad bowls and an old, well, kind of all kinds of bowls that. And he's missing an arm because he is an part of NASA. He explores, and he's also very dirty because this is where my my furnace is. So he makes salad in outer space. I was inspired for this build by my from I don't really know, from the artist Tom Sachs, that I really feel inspired by. So that's why the NASA thing came in. That was kind of an experiment. But then I made this guy, and now we're back. I found this old electrical measuring meter thing, and made this kind of cool pose. He's about to put this plug into himself and this one, and he's standing on this. Oh, this is my, yeah, well, maybe they should be here. So that leads me to today's build. And it's very dark in here, but I come into here. This is my workshop. You've seen this before if you've been here before, and it is extremely messy. That is one of my things. I want to rebuild this workshop. I hope to maybe do that in the next couple of months. I can't promise anything. I have a lot of other projects I need to do, but I would really like to maximize this the utility of this workshop. So I'm going to leave you with the build. It's not, I don't think it will be quite as long as the other videos on the channel, but it's something else. It's not built from old toys. It's built from a film projector, a camera, some wall lamps, and I think it turned out pretty well. So enjoy. Well, I started this build by looking at this film projector that I found in a thrift shop, and also this tin lunchbox, I think it is, because I kind of thought it would go well with the first aid kit robot that I showed in the intro. I also have these two box cameras that I will use. So I think that both the film projector and the lunchbox will end up being turned into a robot. But I chose to put that aside for now, and started disassembling this wall lamp. These particular ones would look really great as arms for the robot, and the voltmeter robot I showed just before has actually the same kind of arms. Those mounting half tubes looks kind of like shoulder pauldrons, as you can see on sizing it up here. But ultimately I actually ended up having a trouble using them as arms, so they will probably be used for another project. You can see this film projector is really old, hand cranked. There is a lamp inside that actually still turns on, but I think the optics or the lenses for the projector has been lost into time. I then found these two. Well, actually, there's only one now, but I have another one that is almost similar. The wall lamp that I'm going to use as legs for the robot, and they have these mounting brackets that I can screw into the film projector. I had a problem because the film projector has a kind of a lid, and it kept falling open. So I just drilled a hole and put a small screw in to hold it in place. Later on, I found out that the metal that this projector is made from is so flimsy and thin that the screws I had really couldn't bite onto it. So I ended up riveting the brackets onto the film projector instead. But here I'm blissfully unaware of that problem yet, so I just kept on working with the screws. You can see in the background, I showed that in another video, I have 3 robots standing in the window of my workshop, and they still need to be mounted on something. I have this idea of a group display where they will stand and interact with each other, but I never got around to doing that, so that is for a future project. Now I'm just measuring out where the bracket should be and drilling a hole. Obviously, I seem to forget where my power drill was. So a couple of holes, and I don't think I show that, but I actually put a little bit of super glue underneath the bracket, and then I used my riveting tool to attach it, and that worked much better. I'm not really that used to using a riveter, but my hands is kind of not big enough so it's a kind of a 2-hand job, but it works very well, and it creates a quite sturdy assembly there. Now I am measuring up how I would like to attach the arms, and that was quite a headache because the film projector had a lot of weird protrusions and stuff going on at the top, so I couldn't really figure out how I could attach those specific lamps that I had chosen for the arms. On the voltmeter robot, I actually used a bit of plumbing pipe to use as a kind of shoulder joint, but I didn't have any of those here, and you can see I'm wondering, should I use a deodorant lid or should I use a block of wood? But that would kind of ruin the aesthetic, I think. So instead, I've had a couple of other small wall lamps that actually fit onto the projector instead. So I opted for those instead. I had conveniently 2 of those. And the shoulder pauldron lamps will be used for another build some other time, probably the lunchbox. I have also been wanting to make one of these scrap metal robots with quite long legs. All the others I showed you in the intro are not quite as tall as this one, but these specific wall lamps I used as legs give it this kind of long, lanky aesthetic, and I really like that. This is a quite different way to work than the gluing old plastic toys together and afterwards painting it all. This is more like using a lot of time going to thrift shops and find these specific items, and when I see it, I buy it. The projector has been in my workshop for a couple of months, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it when I found it. As you can see, it's so tall that I almost doesn't have room enough to keep it in frame. I also mount my robots on a wooden box, because that gives them kind of a base that I can attach them to, and that makes them much more sturdy in where I'm going to place them. And I don't show that in this video, but actually the wall lamps that I used here has this kind of flexible thing just on where the feet of the robot are, and that is not quite sturdy enough to keep it upright. I would be concerned that it would tip over if it left without any kind of rigidity. So I put a piece of metal from a coat hanger up through the wooden box and into the lamp holders, and that worked quite well. That made it a little bit more rigid and made it not tip over. I made this little wooden dowel with a screw in it, and that just fits into the neck, which incidentally is where the optics of the film projector used to be. And I just had this round piece of wood that I attached to the camera, and just a piece of black duct tape to conceal that there's a piece of wood. I put a bit of hot glue in, and now we have a kind of an expression on his face. I also have these crocodile clamps, I think they're called, there for some kind of electrical work, I think. I have a whole box full of them, and I just attached them to the bottom of the arms, so he has something to hold on to stop with. I didn't show that in the video, but there was also two kind of, what is that called, holders for the film roll that came with the and you can see I have attached those to the robot. This is the final result. He's holding one of those rollers, and that kind of constitutes this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe if you want to follow this channel. That would be very much appreciated and thanked in advance. So thank you, and see you next time.